country is facing some political uncertainty after the NDP ended its deal with the Trudeau Liberals. For more on this, we're joined by federal Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre. Mr. Poilievre, good afternoon. Thank you for taking time to speak with us. Let's start with this.
Good to be with you.
Look, the wheels are in motion locally. We've seen Toronto St. Paul's flip. Are you ready for an early election and becoming prime minister?
Yes, we need a carbon tax election. After 9 years of Trudeau and the NDP Liberals, everything costs more. 2 million people line up at food banks. 1 in 10 Torontonians are relying on food banks right now. The cost of housing has more than doubled to the point where 2/3 of young people believe they'll never be able to own a home. This was not the case before Trudeau. Crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder are rampant in our once safe streets. And now Trudeau and the NDP want to jack the carbon tax up by 300%, all the way to 61 cents a litre, which will grind our economy to a halt. But the good news is that common sense Conservatives will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. But we need a carbon tax election to get there, and that's what we'll be pushing for in the fall.
Okay, along those lines, Mr. Poilievre, you continually push for the end of this carbon tax. I'd like for you to elaborate on some of the other issues on your platform that you say will save Canadians money. I'd like some concrete examples, please.
Sure, build the homes. As you know, after 9 years of Trudeau, housing costs have doubled, and Canada now has the most expensive housing in all of the G7. And why is that? The reason is that we have the fewest homes per capita. And that's a little strange given that we have by far the most land to build on. What's the obstacle? It is government gatekeepers that block building permits and tax home building. So I will require local governments speed up permits, free up land, cut taxes and bureaucracy to build 15% more homes per year as a condition of getting their federal funding. Cities that beat my target will get a building bonus. The municipal government will get more money if its bureaucrats are quickly and affordably approving more home building. I'll sell off 6,000 federal buildings, thousands of acres of federal land to build. We'll back the trades because we need boots and not suits to build the homes. There should be hope, because when I was housing minister, the average rent in Canada was only about $950 for a one-bedroom or about $1,100 for a two-bedroom. So I've proven that we can make housing affordable, and that's what I'm going to do when I'm prime minister.
I'd like to talk about crime and safety. Look, over this past weekend, we had 11 shootings in this city, 3 of which were fatal. 1 was only 15 years old. And, when it comes to a lot of the recent shootings, the suspects have been teenagers. What is your plan to restore safety, not only here, but around the country?
Pierre seems like he's got a cold.
Yeah, this is another new problem we didn't have before Trudeau. Gun crime, violent gun crime, is up 120% after 9 years of Justin Trudeau. The problem is that he keeps releasing repeat violent offenders onto the streets on automatic bail, parole, and house arrest through bills like C-75, C-83, and C-5. The worst criminals can get released automatically. Here in BC, Vancouver, give you an incredible fact. They had to arrest the same 40 offenders 6,000 times in 1 year because they keep getting released on automatic Liberal bail. I will repeal catch and release, and I'll bring in a new law that says that rampant career criminals are ineligible for bail, parole, probation, or house arrest. Second is we're going to secure the borders, because 99% of the shipping containers that come in are uninspected, and that's where 85% of the guns that do crime come from. It's not Canadian gun owners who are very much law-abiding. They have to go through a lot of screening and testing and training. It's not gun owners that are doing this. It's gun criminals who are smuggling in illegal foreign arms. So I want to scan every shipping container at our 4 biggest ports, bolster our our fight against international crime syndicates that bring the drugs and guns in, and we'll pay for it by canceling this ridiculous gun grab that Trudeau's promising, where he wants to confiscate hunting rifles. It's not Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle that's causing the problem. It's gangsters and gun criminals. Let's block them at the border and lock them up in prison.
And I have to ask, so yesterday you issued a challenge to Jagmeet Singh to vote for a carbon tax election. And with all due respect, you call him sellout Singh, you mispronounce his name. How's that going to get him on your side?
Well, I'm not trying to get him on my side. He's on Justin Trudeau's side. I'm on the side of the people. He has sold out Canadians. He signed on to a costly coalition with Trudeau that doubled housing costs, taxed your food, punished your work, unleashed crime and chaos in our communities. He did that by breaking the promise he made that he was going to be a voice for workers. So he did sell out. And what I'm saying is stand up for the people who voted for you, vote for a carbon tax election so that Canadians can choose a common sense conservative government that will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. So we can again have a country where hard work earns a powerful paycheck that buys affordable food, gas, and homes in safe neighborhoods.
And as we wrap up, we just spoke with Mr. Singh a few minutes ago. I left an open-ended question for him at the end. I'm going to do the same for you. But I'd like to hear something that we've not heard you say before or really hit home. What is that?
Something that you've never heard me say before?
Right, throughout this process.
Yeah, I think one of the things we need to do is get more of our immigrant doctors and nurses working in the system. We have 20,000 immigrant doctors, 32,000 immigrant nurses that can't work because they can't get a license even when they're highly qualified. So what I'm proposing is that we do in the professions what we did in the trades 72 years ago, which is to create a national licensing test so that newcomers to Canada can take the test, prove they're qualified, and we can get more doctors, nurses, engineers, and other highly qualified immigrant professionals earning powerful paychecks and relieving those terrible wait times in our hospitals.
Okay, Federal Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre,